Well, I tried going live earlier and it was messing up for some reason, but 2006 Mercury Grand Marquis, gave you guys a quick video of it last night when they put it out here. 80,212 miles on it. Super nice ride. You know what's kind of cool is I didn't know they made Mercury visors. Actually, it has the Mercury stamp in the visors. It's got the Mercury stamp on all the visors, on all four corners. I didn't even know they made those. Anyway, a lot of people was interested in a live video today, so here it is. Manifold studs and everything still intact, nothing broken off, nothing flaking and layered. Ford filter on it, Ford battery in it. The service history on this car with the dealer is just lengthy. Everything that had to be done came to the dealer. Same thing here, manifold studs, everything intact. I mean, you got your light frame rust, but I don't really consider that rust here, even though rust is rust. There was some guy last night that was being a complete jerk from like Oklahoma or something like that, and he was tearing me up. He said, "Oh, you said there's no rust on that car." I see rust, and I can't stand cars, or I can't understand cars from that region. And I'm thinking to myself, man, you obviously know nothing about these cars, because these cars are just, they're amazing cars. No matter where you get them from, if you can get them in good shape, you just get them in good shape and continue to maintain them. And one of the things that I was impressed with the most, as I stated last night, none of these studs, like the valve cover studs, none of them are rusted out. It's got a complete bolt head on it where you can literally just take it out, replace the valve cover gasket if you need to, and put it back together. Normally when we see these, we see them all rotten. The studs are all rotten, falling out. Normally there's all fuzzy corrosion and stuff built on the crossover tube going from one side of the manifold to the other. None of that stuff's going on here. And everything's still labeled Ford in this. It doesn't look like there's any aftermarket stuff at all in this vehicle. A lot of times you'll find the ones with high miles that have been around a while and they've just been beat. You'll see back in here, the loom will be laying down on top of the back of the engine block, and it'll rub through, and you'll get EGR codes. And you'll see cars come in that are traded in, and they'll have new PCMs in it, they'll have new EGRs in it, they'll have new all kinds of stuff. And all it was a simple rub through for the EGR right there on the back of the manifold. And it's just a simple wire fix, but guys will throw parts at it and throw parts at it and throw parts at it. And if you don't know this vehicle, you're never going to know that's where you need to look. And then once you replace the engine harness, then you'll fix your problem. And then you're left wondering, well, what could I have done different? Well, you could have actually troubleshooted the EGR circuit itself and found the wires rubbed through right at the back of the manifold. And that's why the EGR code's set when you can't simply just replace the EGR on these. It was a common problem. I say common, but it wasn't super common. You know, it's it was an issue that would pop up from time to time, and you knew right away to just search through the wire harness back there, and you could find that you would see a little rub through spot, and you do a quick wire repair, no big deal. But we've had cop cars come in here, we've had these come in here, Cherry, where people are just like, oh, I'm done with it, I want to trade them in, I'm done, I'm just, motor's junk. And all it is simple rub through right there on the back of the manifold, and that's all it was. And then you get them cheap, and then you turn around and you sell them for a decent profit, not trying to gouge. Right now in today's market, private party, 2006 Grand Marquis with 80,000 miles on it, and you could probably buy this car for $5,500, $6,000 with 80,000 miles. I just had one pop up on the channel not too long ago that sold for $3,900 with 100,000 miles on it. Gentleman seated on it and went private party and bought it right away, and then turned around and sold it a week and a half later for $5,500 to somebody else. Because of me displaying these vehicles on my channel, he bought it immediately. Well, this is an even lower mileage one, 80,000 miles. That I think the dealer gave about, I think they gave about $5,000 for this car. And we're gonna end up asking $9,000 for it because of the market. It's not a huge markup, but you got to take into consideration the dealer has to make money. You know, we put an oil change in it. I go through the car from front to back, check the suspension, check every single component on the vehicle before I release it. And with me knowing this car, it's better that I have it than somebody else. So this vehicle is just one of those cherry rides that I know is going to sell right away. So I think maybe $8,800 is what they'll go bottom, but this car is about a $9,000 car all day. I'll sell it. And this, it's got good brakes all the way around. The rotors could use a little service, but they got a little light edge rust. Still a lot of brake pad left. Rotors are good. Doesn't vibrate or anything. Gonna take it out on a test drive. But I know these cars through and through, and when they come in, they get excited because they know I'm gonna be excited to look at them. I drive one. You guys know, if you've been following me for any given amount of time, that I absolutely love these cars. I love dealing with the community of people that run these cars, because typically they're not jerks. They're actually level-headed, pretty cool people that just like to share stories about their cars, and they really, really enjoy these. I drive the 2006 Town Car over there. Absolutely love the car. I got 2016 Mustang GT rims on it, 20% tint, VS visors, Roush axle back exhaust, 2.5-inch exhaust, catback, 93 octane tune, can shift, paddle shifters in mine. 373 gear set. They're easy to make really fun and really reliable, and still make power with them. You guys talk crap about these cars, but these cars are, to me, the best car that they've ever produced for reliability and efficiency every single day. For everyday use, 300,000 miles plus given, easy, no problem. Nathan, our buddy on here, Nathan J, he just got rid of his because he ran his, or the car was run so long that it literally cracked around the bell housing or something like that of the trans, and all the bolts were rusted into the motor. And what it would cost to get the car back up and running, Nathan, you know, he let it go. You know, he let it go to the salvage yard, because at that point you're putting more into the car than what it's actually worth. You could find another one like this, private party, for, I don't know, you know, like I said, 80,000 miles, probably somewhere around $6 grand. The dealer's selling it for $9, is what I think the sales manager pretty much agreed on. The last Crown Vic that we had with 45,000 miles sold for $10,500. And this is a more luxurious version. Obviously doesn't perform like the Crown Vic does, but somebody was specifically in the market for that car, and it was an actual police commander's car that he had kept. And one of the local police departments, you know, he wanted to trade into a police SUV, and ended up trading that in for a police SUV. And then we sold it to another guy from down south Kentucky that's a retired police officer, and he was looking for a P71. So he came up here and he bought that. They wanted 11 for it, and he bought that for $10,500 is what he bought it for. They got two Panther cars across the lot over here, and they've got like 200,000 miles on it, and they still want $4 grand for them. So, you know, the market is the market right now, and unfortunately people are paying a premium for used cars. And luckily these are still going for a pretty decent rate compared to other vehicles. I don't know, you know, I think it's I think they're worth it. They're great vehicles. They run forever. I've never been in a more sound, reliable vehicle. So it's I wonder if this is, the spring setup. Got light surface rust on the frame, but normally when you get in here, all these panels are rotted out. You can see the rust has been starting probably over the last couple years, but if you could go ahead and treat this, these are all still solid. Normally when you get these Panther cars, and one of the main common problems is this panel right here. It rots out in the back, and then there's nothing left, and as you're going down the road, that tire throws water up this way, and as that moisture starts to build up in this channel right here, it actually gets up in the airbag switch in the trunk and rots it out. And once it rots it out, then you'll have a airbag light on the dash. But overall, just light cosmetic stuff that can be treated in a weekend. Put it up on a lift at your house. Get that acid chemical spray, that etching spray that gets in there and starts to convert everything, as it's still light like this and not flaking, and it's more surface than anything. You can find some spots where it's actually flaking just a hair, but a couple hours with a brush, and then spray that conversion spray, that acid spray, that industrial stuff. I mean, this car would be like brand new. Also, a common problem for rusting is right in here. None of that here. It's all nice and sound, solid. Here, it rots out. This is all nice and like new looking. But you got your little cosmetic stuff. The corner right here where people have, old people, you know, not paying attention or whatever. Maybe their sight's not as good. They just lightly back into stuff. That's what you get sometimes with these. I'm sure the dealer has some wiggle room on the price, but you guys could walk away, especially if you mention my name here and you say, hey, look, I watched that Ford Boss guy's channel and I seen that car on there. Give me a Ford Boss hookup. I bet you they probably would acknowledge the fact that I put the time in that I do, and they'd give you a better deal than most people, just because I go to the extent of showing you guys these cars. When I try to disconnect from the Wi-Fi, but anyway, let's look at the... It just crapped out on me for a second because I got up underneath the car and it blocked the Wi-Fi signal. That must not be the key for this, because it don't even... Yeah, there must be a separate key for the trunk, or this was a replacement. Looks like that grommet's coming out just a hair. You could loosen that up and tuck that back in there and get it all nice and dressed back up. Okay, so the stuff that's been done on this vehicle, I'm going to try to show you from afar. This is the service history on it. Somebody put a new fuel tank in it and fuel cover, so that's been serviced here. Inspection, perform recall. So that was the lighting control module recall. Tire rotation, oil change. Multi-point inspection. Inspection, replace battery, test charging system. So new battery. Actually this year, January 30th of this year is when they put the new battery, the Ford battery in it. So all basic maintenance stuff. That's all that's been done with this is basic maintenance stuff, nothing crazy. The fuel tanks do rot out on these. They do have a problem, and it's a really, really heavy job to do because some of the lines on top of the tanks, you can't really get to right away, and you got to fight them sometimes. We've done enough of them to where we're all right. You know, 4.5 hour job, depending on how bad it is getting the lines off. But everything that was a problem has already been addressed. The window seals need lubricated.
Did I fix this car yet?
Let's see back here. I thought you can display. Do these not display fuel? I don't know enough about the Grand Marquis electronics to say that they display fuel. I've never messed with that. So I'm not sure if you guys know or not, but in mode it just turns it off or it turns the direction on. I thought maybe some of these displayed fuel, but I'm obviously wrong. Oh, these are the garage buttons. Lamp. expeditions that I'm thinking of from this time. Because I remember I had an Eddie Bauer Expedition 5.4 3-valve, and that thing was it was a tank, but it had a lot of problems. I love how simple this control head is. Yeah, I know the fuel in the instrument cluster, but I didn't know if they did it here as well, like they did on some of like the Expeditions and the higher line Ford SUVs back from the time. I love how simple this is. Just simple. That's it. Plain and simple. Even simpler than the town car, which I kind of like. I actually like simplicity more than I like fancy. I like how this doesn't have chattering whenever you first turn stuff on and you're going between different modes, how it uses vacuum. It doesn't sit there and before it actually opens all the way, like a vacuum diaphragm or something's leaking, or there's like a cracked vacuum line. Oh, you know what? I forgot to... This has remote start. And I forgot to remote start it. Well, I remote started it and it shut off. It timed out. Oh yeah, it's ice cold. Ice cold. See if it gets hot. I like having the RPM gauge and the mile per hour gauge. So some of the town cars, like the older ones where it only had like the big gauge and you didn't have an RPM gauge, guys said they didn't really care for that. They'd like to have that. Okay, so we're good there for sure. No disc. I thought sometimes I get a free CD whenever I inspect these.
Freeway, driving savings, restricted supply, liability premium, major.
And you know what? To be honest with you, you would think the sound systems in these would be subpar, but compared to other vehicles that were released around this time, the sound systems are actually not that bad. Yeah, the porter wants to know. He wanted to know if I'm going to go for a test drive in this because they want to know what's going to be on the lot and what's not. And this here, everything works there. Up and down. That works. Let's see if the lumbar works. A lot of these, they don't work. Or is there a lump? Oh, if there's a lumbar. Oh, it's on the side here. Oh yeah, it works. It works very nice. Very nice ride. Very, very, very nice ride. Very impressed with this car. I'm impressed that the seats are still so plush and none of them are sunk in. It looks like new leather almost. Like if you look at the side right here, it looks like somebody's came in here and redid all this material. I mean, it really does. How thick and how nice the stitching is on around it. It looks like... Do all of them look this robust like this on the Grand Marquis? Because the town cars, they're not real thick like this and heavy stitched around the sides. The town cars are real thin and they have like a material right here instead of like a leather. This is nice. I wish the town car had these seats like this. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Craig, but it's like different strokes for different folks, right? Some people want it, some people don't. It's not necessarily pointless. Especially if you're gonna mod it or something like I do. I have a set of paddle shifters in it, and I like to see what RPM gauge I'm at. Yeah, we ended up giving them like $5,000. I think $5,000 or $5,500 for it. We gave them what private party sale was for this, and then we'll turn around and sell it for $9,000. That's a fair price because I've seen these private party at 80,000 miles. People asking $7,000, $8,000. We gave them, I think, $5,000 or $5,500 somewhere in there is what we paid, and they're gonna ask $9,000 for it. But like I said earlier, mention me if somebody decides to buy this, and you might get a better deal. Who knows? Yeah, right now you can't really screw people over, or else they won't trade their vehicles in. So dealers are pretty desperate right now. They don't have an opportunity to really negotiate too much. They're pretty much paying top prices for cars because dealers can't get cars. And there now would be a time, if you're gonna actually sell something, would be a great time to sell, but not so much a great time to buy unless you can actually get a fair deal. So that's what's going on right now with these cars, is where you could negotiate before. Now you really don't have that much room to negotiate. You're paying what almost private party, if not more, right now, so we can try to go for a test drive. Oh my god, that's so smooth. So, wow. Just how cherry this car is compared to, even though my town car is cherry, don't get me wrong, I love my town car, but with this car having 80,000 miles, how plush everything is, how nice and crisp all the locks lock with no lag, just how nice this car is overall. The crack of the locks, real hard, nice, tight, strong, the windows and stuff like that. It's absolutely an amazing car. Well, I don't understand how that's funny, Grandpa. I mean, it is what it is. If it's a 273, it's a 273. If it's a 327, it's a 327. You don't know what's in this car. They all came with different packages for depending on how they were ordered. Some people would say my town car came with a 273, but wrong, it didn't. It came with a 327. It just all depends on how the vehicle was ordered. One wheel peel or not. I get how people like to crack jokes about that and stuff and think it's funny, but it's really not that funny at all. It is just how they were built. They were built to last. They were built to be old people cars, chauffeur cars, company cars, corporate cars. Not. Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're all 273s. Boy, she moves too. Moves pretty good. I don't think this is a 273 car. It's just the car is so fresh. I'll run the VIN. I mean, if you guys want me to find out, I'll definitely run the VIN for sure. I'll pop it in PTS and I'll tell you exactly what's in this car. Very nice. Very, very nice. Smooth ride. Set the cruise. Do we have a cruise problem? We may have found our first problem. Oh, I did it wrong. You gotta go up to set, not down. I think on my town car you can push the down button and it will still set as well. Maybe I'm wrong. The gas mileage in these, you could get upwards of 26, 27 miles to the gallon on the highway. It wasn't unheard of. Some guys get a little bit better depending on their setup. And then around town, 18, 19 miles to the gallon pretty safely. Maybe, 17 to 19, somewhere depending on how you drive it. These were actually fairly decent gas mileage wise. Pretty incredible vehicles for what they were. 4R70W, 4.6 2-valve, plenty of grunt, plenty of pep in its step. Oh yeah, she's running good, baby. She's running good. Very, very nice ride. Horn works. I wonder if the mirrors work. Oh yeah. Mirrors work. Yep, both of them work. Nice brakes, nice firm pedal. Check these windshield wipers. Sometimes they lag. Really nice. Very responsive. A lot of times, I said something last night, and I don't know what some guy was saying. I had no idea what the hell this guy was saying. And I said something about how they responded and how they sprayed. And when they were working, they weren't making that groaning sound like some of these that start to have motors that are a little bit worn. Like my town car, the motor makes a little bit of noise because it's still the original one. It's worn. It's gonna make some noise like that once they start wearing out. But this one's just nice and smooth. No groan, no nothing when you're using it. Nothing. Just quick, responsive, no groan. I can't believe the guy was like literally trying to correct me as I was explaining the characteristics of this car and what I've seen and the volume of these that I've worked on and stuff like that. Fleet vehicles, garages, taxis, corporate cars, independent people, you know, private people bringing their vehicles and stuff in. You always have that guy on the internet that wants to think he knows more than the next guy until somebody like me steps out of pocket and has to correct them. It's unreal sometimes. Because a guy has owned a couple of them, that means he's an expert. And that's kind of how some people come across, and it just irks the hell out of me. This damn thing moves like a cop car. Very, very responsive. From a go, you can tell it's got 80,000 miles. She moved pretty good. Yeah, there's plenty of people on the internet that's done a 5/4 swap. I like the way this vehicle rides. So effortless the way it moves and so comfortable. No play in the steering wheel at all, no clunking, no clanging going on. Even the smallest turn, you can feel the vehicle moving with it. You don't hear no ball joint slop over the bumps or when you're going to wheel back and forth where you're trying to purposely have the control arm shift and move. None of that. None of that clankiness. I don't know, man. If one of you guys don't buy this car, I might be tempted to pick it up. Would I pick you up for a ride? I sure would one day, but today it's slow. I gotta clock some hours today, so I'm gonna grab a bunch of used car vehicles and get them in. I got 2 big jobs I'm waiting on, but I can't get them started right now. So I'm gonna grab a bunch of our used cars if we have them in and they're not at detail. I'm gonna get them knocked out and inspected. This car is gonna end up not needing anything. I mean, everything runs so well on this car. I'll probably pull it in, get the oil change and stuff done, check out the suspension real good. Brakes and everything feel fine and they look fine. And it'll end up getting the final wash and detail and be put back out on the lot. This thing just runs great. And with it having a service history from my dealership, I mean, all the way, it goes back further than what the paper has that I say it's more history available. And I mean, we've been servicing this thing since prior to 2018. I think the earliest I seen when I looked at service history was like 2013 on this vehicle. And it's still, but on the single paper that I have, it doesn't show everything. So it goes back as far as 2018 when it was just general oil changes and tire rotations on it. It's typically all these end up needing anyway. Tire rotation, brakes from time to time. Even though they were really good on brakes, they didn't wear brakes out like other cars did. Actually very smooth, and you get a long time on the brakes on these. And because of the suspension and the long travel and stuff and how long these cars are, it didn't really wear out a lot of tires and stuff like that. You get a lot of mileage out of your tires and stuff on this. My last one, what did I end up getting? 60,000 miles on a set of 40,000 mile rated tires, just because I took care of it. I kept everything rotated, everything clean all the time. Yeah, so I don't see a lot of 308. I don't even see an option for 308 whenever you look up the PTS build. 308 wasn't even a characteristic that you can order for the Panther platform cars. It was either a 273 through PTS or a 327. And the majority of the ones that I've seen have been 327, not 273. So I've experienced the opposite with no 308 gear option at all. The suspension on this thing is so tight. So tight. It smells like a damn skunk got here over here. I love that cop car type transmission whine that you get a little bit on these. These you don't hear it as much because there's more padding and stuff inside. There's more material. But you get that little bit of transmission whine when you go to kind of get into it a little bit. Normal characteristic of the 4R70W. A lot of people complained about it early on, but it wasn't really a problem. It's just normal, unfortunately. And in the cop cars, when there's not a lot of insulation and stuff in there, you really can pick it up. But in the Grand Marquis and the town cars and stuff, you just hear it real light. And I kind of like it. It's kind of like a little bit of a turn on to me, to be honest with you. I like the way it sounds. Reminds me of the Crown Vics. This one moves really good. This car performs very well, very well. I don't think we'll sit on this car very long. I just like when you're going over bumps on the town cars, the Panther platform cars. It's got that truck style frame. When you go over a bump and everything follows with it, you don't get that so much of a sway as much as when you go over a bump. You almost feel like you're planted with the frame. Like wherever the frame's going, the car's going as well. Unless you had air ride, then it was a little bit more floaty. But in this car with the spring setup, it's whenever I go over a bump in this car is like it follows with it. It doesn't get all floaty and stuff like people would think. A lot of people are like, oh, those cars are probably floaty and all over the road. Well, if you're racing them, sure. But for general everyday use, actually you feel the car following with the entire suspension and everything. It goes with it. Like you hit a bump and you would think that it would start to float a little bit, but it doesn't do that. It actually follows with the car and it stays planted pretty good. And I've actually seen guys learn these cars so well that they take them out and autocross them and just dust the hell out of people just with basic mods. They learn how to sling them around the corners and stuff real well because of how long they are. They get to manipulate the body and stuff. You know, you just learn the car. People think I'm crazy when I go into turns and stuff that are rated for like 30, 40 mile an hour, and I'm hitting them at 50, 55 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour out in the middle of nowhere. I just roll it, baby. I just send it. And the car stays right on the ground, stays planted. They traded on a 18 Explorer Limited. I think the dealer said they want 9, but if somebody mentions my channel and my video, because all these cars so far and all the videos that I've been doing lately on my preference cars, the 4.6 valve, the 5.4 valve, the vehicles that I enjoy, I do a better job explaining and showing them than a salesman would because of how honest I am and how I deal with these cars. The dealer has really been impressed with my, what would you call it, my desire to really appreciate the 2-valve Ford motors and the platform, the older F-150s and the Panther platform cars, the older Fusions. And they let me really do a good job explaining them and showing them, because people understand better by the time I'm done with it than a salesman that they feel like is trying to lie to them. I take them to the car, I show them the car, I show them the service history of the car, I show them the maintenance that was performed and what I'm going to do before they buy the car, and it just works better that way. And if people were to mention, hey, I saw that car at Ford Boss Channel or something like that, they, like I said before, they'll probably give you a better deal than if you just rolled in and you didn't even say anything. Just because they appreciate me. They know that I'm putting in the extra work to show the vehicles that I appreciate, the ones that I care about. I care about all vehicles, but I have a soft spot for the 2-valve modular motors, and I just love them. I really do. Good afternoon, Oscar. Yeah, my town car is pretty smooth everywhere. I don't really have an issue with, any kind of roughness at all. Even in rough areas and stuff like that. Here's mine. If anybody new here hasn't seen mine. That's my girl. She gets her own parking spot every day. Well, yeah, that's a 2006, and this is a 2006. I would like to see the car on the lift. I think it's got more rust than you think. Mike, who are you? I've never even seen you comment before. Who's this guy? I mean, I just got underneath the car and actually showed everybody what it looks like underneath the car. How would it have more rust than what I think? I literally just showed underneath the vehicle. There's nothing to think. I showed it. You want to see the top of the head through the oil film? Let's do it. Pull over here closer to the building and turn the Wi-Fi on. This is what I get. People come on here and say stuff and they don't even know what's going on the channel. So it's not like I didn't get up underneath the car and show the entire bottom of the car, and this guy's over here, oh, well, I would like to see it on the lift. I think if you put it up in the air, you'll see more. Dude, I just got under the fucking car and showed everybody. What the hell's up? Don't need to put it on the lift to show everybody what's going on underneath the vehicle. Hello, here's your sign. It's clean, no varnish, no nothing inside there. Yeah, even the rocker, like new, literally, like brand new. No varnish, no nothing inside that motor. Crystal clean. If I turn the light on right now, it's going to wash it out. Smells good too. Doesn't smell like fuel or any of that. You can even still see like the, what do they call it, the rocker bridge, that assembly that goes over it. Yeah, I'm gonna go in and service it. It's part of the UCI. I gotta change the oil. I gotta put a filter and stuff on it. Of course I'm gonna go put it on the lift, but I mean, fucking idiots, man. Some of the shit people say on this channel. Too bad it wasn't a Marauder. I mean, yeah, Marauder's nicer, but it doesn't always have to be too bad. Too bad. What does too bad mean? Tell me what too bad means. Too bad it's not a 400,000 or 500,000 mile motor, a 2-valve, 4.6. I mean, too bad. I get what you're saying. Too bad. That's what I'm saying. Nice is nice. Period. It's not too bad. Yeah. How about if you get a Marauder, trade it in, show us the vehicle. It's not too bad. It's another thing people say sometimes. It's like, what? Let me see if somebody's actually sealed the... I bet you it's not even been done yet. That channel inside here. Oh, it's still got the screws in it. I bet you nobody sealed underneath that cover yet. Let's take it in there and put it on the lift. Let's do it. Show the haters what's up. I seen what you said, Freddie. I got you. I got you. I seen you said that a couple times. I got you. Nope, it's still in there. Key code. Now I'm going to have to change it. You should wash your mouth out. She just said this is an ugly car, guys. And I'm live streaming when you said it. This is like... I'm gonna cry. Why is it an ugly car? Because it's an old man's car? You know this car will run 300,000 or 400,000 miles without breaking down? You know this is one of the most reliable cars of all time? You know this is the same motor and trans that you'll find in some of the Mustangs for its time?
I'm talking about the style of it.
It's a beautiful car. Soap, water, in mouth, rinse.
Tell me what to do.
Okay, I won't. To each their own. I drive the 2006 over there with the Mustang GT rims, and I drive a 2006 town car from the same era, different body. And people thought it was ugly when I got it, but then they see it now and they're like, that kind of looks cool. But you would probably say it's ugly. I love them. Because while everybody else is breaking down, they keep going. And they save so much money. And this one, even on the highway, 26, 27 miles to the gallon. Around town, 18, 19. Even some of these newer cars don't get that. 80,000 miles on it. Plush, brand new looking. Quiet. It rolls.
No, I know. It's just.
It's simple. It's nice.
I had a Buick for like 6 years.
A Buick.
Never broke out on me.
A Buick.
Century.
Yeah, 3.8 liter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's because that had a motor that was like this. They didn't break down. But that's back when they actually built cars that were worth a shit. She seen me sitting in this car and she's like, that's an ugly car. And I was like, you better wash your mouth out. Girls don't like these cars. Women don't like these cars. You guys know that. Oh, looks like somebody's got a car parked in my stall. I don't know what I'm going to do now. So we may have to figure out another venue here. Maybe I can put it on the flat rack. Okay, I'll put it on the flat rack. She's not a Karen. She's just a young girl that's very nice. She drives like a Ford 500, or not a Ford 500, but a Freestar. So she drives. She likes Fords. She just don't like these cars. She don't like the grandpa-looking cars. Lift it up real quick. Yeah, she don't know. You can't. She gotta wash her mouth out. Next time we'll get a bar of soap and a thing of water and wash her mouth out for her. Well, this is a spring car. You don't need to do nothing fancy. Super easy to rack because of the frame. As long as the foot goes all the way to the pinch weld and a little bit past, you're good right there in the back. Easiest car I've ever had to rack. I'm gonna flip this camera around and put it on the charger because it is dying. Make sure I turn the Wi-Fi on so I didn't lose you guys. Okay, the Wi-Fi is on. See where I smacked my head last night on that, or yesterday on that diesel? Smacked the hell out of my head too. It hurt. It's super tight. You bear hug that thing and you try to jerk it back and forth as it's planted to your chest. There ain't no movement in that tie rod assembly at all. And if you look to the driver's side, you can actually watch the steering sector. So as you're shaking it back and forth and a little bit of movement it's making, you can see the top of the bolt or moving back and forth as well with it. Zero play. You bear hug it up and down and try to work it back and forth, really pulling on those ball joints, and then you can put it back on the ground and put a pry bar underneath it as well. They're going to ask $9,000 for it. 9,000. It's only got 80,000 miles on it. And then if you take, I've noticed with these, a lot of guys don't know how to check them the right way, but with the lower control arms, you can either do a brake check where you get on the brakes hard and you try to have the vehicle rotate forward and it jams into the control arms and you can feel those bushings move, or you can get back behind the tire and put your chest up underneath it and press into it and jerk, like slam your body into it, and you can actually push the tire back and forth to see if that control arm is moving, or you can put a pry bar underneath it and you can actually jerk the lower control arm forward and back in and out to see if there's movement, and there's like zero play in this thing. What the hell? Something on my phone. No, battery didn't call it quits. It popped up and said update due or something on your phone and kicked me off the live stream until I said remind me later. I don't want to do it right now. Yeah, I hate these damn phones where they try to force you into updates and stuff like that, and it'll kick you off of everything while you're in the middle of doing it. I got 5% battery right now. I'm going to start draining the oil right now, and let's let this charge a little bit while you guys sit here, and I'll go get the filter and stuff for it, and just let it charge, because I want to get it up a little higher so I can actually take you under the car and show you without it dying, so we can prove the trolls about, oh, I bet you there's more rust. It's the same damn rust I showed you to begin with. It's all surface stuff on the frame, the body of it, the floors and everything. There's no rust on any of that. Just your typical light frame surface rust. And your exhaust stuff that you always see, that's inevitable. It's going to happen up here. But no body rust, no rocker panel rust, no rear cargo skirt rusting, no none of that. Just so you guys know I'm live. Right now. This is Enrique. This is the salesman that actually took it in on trade from, was it an old lady or whatever?
It was an older couple. They had an Alfa Romero it was an older one that they took good care of. This was her car. She didn't even want to trade it in, but she wanted something bigger, something a little bit more. So she got an Explorer Limited, 2018 with like 20,000 miles. So she's got a newer car. She wanted something bigger for her family because she goes on long trips with her family, so she wanted more size. And she loved this car.
You said she was pretty emotional whenever she traded this in.
Yeah, she was crying. She started crying. She was like, I don't want to get rid of it, but she needed something bigger. So.
And when they get older, hips, joints, stuff like that, it's easier to get into an SUV than it is a car that sits down a little bit lower and stuff. And I was telling him, I just took him on a test drive just now. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. It's got a ton of power. There's nothing wrong with it. The brakes are good. The AC's good. The heat's good. There's not a single thing that I can actually find that's wrong with this vehicle. So literally, it's going to be an oil change, and and it's going to be cleaned up and it's going to be put right back out on the lot. There's not a single thing wrong with it. So I'll tell them we're probably going to ask them about $9,000 for the car.
Right now it's like
$89.99 or whatever it is. So, and you guys know today's market with everything that's going on is pretty crazy. Even the dealers are paying top trade-in, so we gave them more money than we would typically give for this car. We're actually not asking that much more than what we gave, and compared to what's going on with the shortages and stuff like that and getting vehicles, taking all that into consideration at $89,999, you guys know as well as I do, this is a steal. Even private party, these are selling for $7 or $8 grand, but you're getting this from somebody that documented it, that did the services on it. It's serviced at least from 2018, 2013 or something like that back, has all been done from this dealer, and that's the good thing about it.
She bought it from here.
She bought it from here, and it's been serviced from here, and like I showed you guys, the beginning of this year it had a new Motorcraft battery put in it, and then last year or year before it had a brand new fuel tank assembly and everything put in, so all those problems that could happen have already been taken care of. And that's why when we looked up into the gas filler neck, when you look down inside it, you see all that stuff's new. All of it's been replaced. So you're getting more than what you would typically get from buying at private party. So at that price, you're walking away with a hell of a deal. And you know, from all the guys that we follow on the channel, you're getting cars that are 300,000-400,000 miles, 500,000 miles out of these motors. These 4.62 valves just don't stop. So let me get the oil drop. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Call up here and ask for Enrique if you guys want this car. Reference my channel though. Let them know you saw it if you're going to buy this car. And I mean, I don't know where else you get this kind of service from. Who else is going to show you the car, service the car in front of you, take you for a ride in the car, talk to the salesman, give you the story, and then show you the entire service history on a vehicle. There's no service like that I know of. But you're getting it right here because, you know why? I just say it like it is, and that's just how it is. That's how clean that oil is in that car. Brand new coming out of it. Probably don't even need to be changed. Brand new. That motor's a good motor. That's a clean motor. Let it charge a little bit more so I can turn the front facing light on, and I'll show you what's going on underneath the vehicle.
holler at you.
Okay, he's right down.
Out with the old, in with the new. Couple things we're going to look at when we get under here. I'm going to point out that you normally have to look at with these Panther cars. Got 8%. Freddie, you should know by now, I ain't forgetting flood mode. I'm the #1 promoter online for flood mode. Something you should note, the compressor clutch gasket, that's just all surface stuff right there. But you actually want to look and make sure it's not cracked through. And this is all just fresh material on here, like the manufactured material. So that clutch seal's good. The front crank seal is good. Oil pan is a little tiny bit damp around it, but that ain't nothing to change. I do them in chassis. These all. They just got done with that Jeep SRT8, the Grand Cherokee. The motor locked up in it, so we just put a brand new crate engine from Jeep in there. You want to look and make sure the compressor body or the power steering pump is not all rotted out. That's all still good, no cracks or anything in it, because they like to crack right down here at this line, and then this line likes to leak. Yeah, this is all normal stuff. I mean, these lines, you can buy this kit for Napa for 45 bucks. That's normal. It's like I showed you guys when I got up underneath the car. It's all surface stuff. It's like the body's where you're looking at. Are there holes in the frame? No, there's not. Is there chunks flaking off the frame? No, there's not. It's the body of it itself all rotted out. No, it's not. Do the bushings and stuff still look good? Absolutely. AT205. Spray some AT205 on it and bring some of that back. All typical stuff that you would see. Brand new fuel tank and strap assembly. This is all, none of the body skirts are rotted out on it. This is all typical stuff with these cars. There's nothing you're going to get away with up here in this area, no matter how young it is, unless it was completely garage kept its whole entire life. No rotten holes, no none of that. Oil pan, lightly moist back here around the edge. And I showed you guys the trick to fix that on the channel. I have a fix for that. Motor mounts look good. They're not cracked, nothing blown out. All the seals and stuff where the lower control arms and everything mount, everything's still good. No cracks or separation or peeling away. They must have sucked up a bag or something on the road here, because it looks like it's plastic material that burned on the exhaust right there. Body seals here, same way. Nothing cracked, nothing separated, nothing coming apart. Hanger's starting to come apart. That hanger needs to be replaced right there, but they ain't nothing but a Rock Auto's got the damn hangers for like 10 bucks or 8 bucks a piece. The vent tube here. No, that ain't right. That's not right. That shouldn't be like that. Something's not right here. That could be a problem in the future. This needs to come off of here. That not come off of there, but it needs to be free. It's not free, it's seized up. And that could be a potential issue in the future for somebody. You always want to make sure those are freed up, and it looks like that one's not free. Let me set this down for a second and free that up. Nah, it ain't that easy sometimes, Freddie. Like this one right here, you ain't gonna be able to do that with this one. This one, it's not gonna be just wiggle it. This one's actually seized up. Yeah, it was seized up pretty good. I got it all freed up now and moving. Next, I'm gonna spray it real quick. these Panthers, a lot of people think that they should just be a little loose. They have a springback type tendency in that cap. So even if it's just a little loose, you should get a springiness underneath it. I've seen a lot of people free them up and they're like, oh, it's free, it's free. No, it's not free. Keep going. It ain't free. You get a little freeze off or something up inside that cap and start to lubricate the top of that, and it actually has a springback tendency to it, where it'll actually bounce back up to the top. I'll show you real quick. Oh, trying to get this mounted up here. See, before it wouldn't move at all. See how nice and loose it is now? But it has a springback tendency. They actually pop back up. Sometimes they'll be loose, but they'll be flat down here and moving. They really should pop up. They shouldn't be buried, bottomed out. They should be up here like this. That's how they should be. Okay, I'm going to continue looking underneath here right now. I'm just doing my part, brother, that's all. I'm trying to share the wisdom with other people. I'm trying to... I don't see... A lot of times, these will actually crack around here, or they'll unseat and they'll start to ride up, and you can actually see fluid start to build up around these. These are still really nice and intact and really spongy and squishy. Like maybe at one point they've probably been changed. I don't know. Maybe a little crunchy inside there. Oh no, that's just the rubber boot rubbing on that piston. Same here. Still really spongy. You can see that it'll collect dirt and debris and stuff. But sometimes, there we go. Sometimes these will just be plumb full of fluid down here. Full of fluid in the bottom of these. And this one's not. Just got some road debris. But nothing too crazy. Nothing abnormal. Knock some of that stuff out of there. Come on, get back on there. I'm gonna have to spray it and get it back on there. I should have never messed with it. Let me get a pick real quick. I'm gonna get a pick and put it back. I'm at 6% right now, so I have to keep traveling back here to put it back on the charger. I'm gonna check for play in the U-joints real quick, make sure they're tight and there's no play there. Now what I'm gonna do is go around and spray all the bushings underneath with some actual rubber bushing spray.
No, that one's going back in here. Like maybe the engine stain, I guess.
What I use is I like this rubber rejuvenator for electronics because it's very, very sensitive and it really does get into the rubber very, very good. I ordered this stuff from Amazon, and I use it when I do UCIs or spray it on bushings and stuff like that. They look like they need a little attention, and I love this stuff. Brand new trans fluid, cherry red. Not picking it up so great on the camera. Let me try something else. This will show it a little bit how red the trans fluid is, but it's like this light is washing it out. It's dark. It's freaking cherry red. It smells good too, like brand new.
Right. Now I had this nice
Now, time to flood mode. It's a Lyle funnel. It's front. It says Mac Tools on it, but it's Lyle. And the part number for Mac Tools is L18232. And you can use this with the EcoBoost engines. You can use this with a lot of them. That's what a lot of the technicians go to now to fill coolant and everything. So now we're going to go flood mode the vehicle. So basically, pedal to the floor, crank the vehicle while the pedal's to the floor, give it 3, 4, 5 seconds of cranking, build up that oil pressure, pull oil through the filter and stuff, and then start the vehicle. You can actually, while cranking, let go of the pedal and it'll start up on its own. So what I did, I went in this system selection check, and then I hit for it to start, and then right away it says oil life 91%. Hit reset and hold. I hit reset and hold and reset the oil life back to 100%. So the oil was brand new in the vehicle. That's how these people take care of this vehicle. It was just changed meticulously all the time. Now I'll actually take a light and show you inside the motor with a light. Yeah, it's a brand new battery. It's a brand, and it's not the regular standard 3-year Ford battery, it's the Max battery, so it's a 5-year warranty. Brand new. No, that's not a tick. That's how these motors sound. Ford's always had a problem with that. The motor sound like that. It's, if you know Fords, you know that's normal. The modular engine has always sounded like that. Fuel injectors, sure. Normal tick. Modular motor sound. If you know the mod motors, you know that sounds normal. Nothing to be alarmed. What do you mean what is there to recall? You can't recall something that's not a recall. That's a normal characteristic of the design. The 2.0 GDI sounds like that too? No, it doesn't. The 2.0 GDI has a distinct high-pressure fuel pump tap tick. This is just a little tick from the pintle and the fuel injector opening and closing. The GDI engine is a completely different sound. Not even the same as this at all. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just if we're going to be precise, then let's be precise. I'll show you something else to check. I could. I like Toyota. If that fan wasn't kicking on, this wouldn't move at all. This is how tight this motor is. Doesn't do nothing. Just sits there, but that fan is blowing up on the edge of that. See the normal pulsing? No blow by, no nothing. Just put it inside the bag. I keep this around for specific reasons. Hold on a second. Got it over it, sitting over top of it. Zero blow by. Normal, overlap pulsing, nothing going on at all. Super clean. Tight, tight, tight motor. What else do we want to see while we're here? You guys want to see coolant? No, this engine's like brand new. Super clean, brand new coolant, no sludgy stuff in it, no nothing. Come on, see if I can get a good, no floaties. Yeah, I'm a master Ford tech. Fluid is not even aerated. You know how you get that pulsing back and forth? So stable and smooth, it's not even moving. You know you got a hell of a setup when you don't even see the flow inside the power steering pump. This damn thing is so smooth and stable that you don't even see all that pulsing. No, they're not asking $8,000. They're asking like $89,900. But I told them if somebody from my channel was to call up after a review I do on this car and I put the extra effort in that I'm not getting paid for. And even when an employee does recommend something to somebody and they sell the car, we don't make anything off it, like 50 bucks. But I take that 50 bucks for every car that I sell and I put it right back into the vehicle. So the last F-150 I sold, the 462 valve, I took and put a BG service in it. I flushed the coolant. I did a basic service on the transmission, and that cost me $70 alone. So I don't even sell vehicles to make money off of it because I don't make money off of it. I take all the stuff that I need and I put it back into the vehicle because I want you guys to be happy with your purchase. I make nothing off of what I show here. So maybe if the dealer has cut it down to $8,000 because of something that I said and somebody's seeing it from this channel, but no, this is a $9,000 car. I've already covered that. But they did say that they would work with people that see this car off of my channel because of the extra effort that I go into to make sure these cars are taken care of. Yeah, we get a bird dog, which is $50. But you guys know, the last 2 or 3 vehicles that I put on that have sold because of me here, I put the money right back into the vehicle. I don't keep the money. I want to give it to you guys because you guys support me by watching my stuff. I put it right back into the vehicle. So there ain't no reason to me keeping it. If I can make your purchase better, I don't care about that $50. I make more money off of people watching the videos and stuff than anything. So that $50 goes right back into it. I go get a can of MOA, I dump it in there, and I'll get fresh coolant and fresh trans fluid, and I give an upgraded service if people buy the vehicle based off my recommendation. You know, I'm not these other Joe Schmoes you guys think that you figured out on here or whatever. I don't care about the damn $50. I give it back to you if you buy the vehicle because I want you to get everything that you're paying for, and then some. The gentleman that's coming for the F-150 that bought it because of my review, he's picking it up either tonight or tomorrow. He just emailed me and he said, dude, thanks for everything, man. Thanks for everything that you did. Thanks for servicing the vehicle the way you did. I really appreciate it. People are just miserable and people find a reason to complain about anything. And I've gotten to a point in my life when people do that type of stuff, I tell them to sit and spin. I'm not worried about what they're complaining about. I don't let people like that in my life consume me. I give them a few words and then they're gone. I mean, other than that, she's ready to roll. I guess I could check the lights real quick. I mean, I tell people all the time, I do all right with YouTube in general. I have no, what would you call it? No quarrel with YouTube and the money that I make here. So I just put out content, and I try to give back to people that support me, and I try to give you guys the deals where you're not getting screwed over. I'm gonna check the lights and stuff real quick. I'm gonna make sure everything's working, and I can use the camera. Damn it, I still can't see. You know what? I can't get this damn thing situated. Screw it. And now I got something pulled up on the bottom here. What the hell is this? No, I'm not sponsored by Mac Tools. Mac Tools can't actually do that. I was talking to my Mac guy and I said, because I love your stuff so much, can I start promoting Mac Tools or whatever? Because I really love Mac Tool products. And he said, no, we can't do that. It's against our policy. We can't have you put stuff on our channel. Unless you do it at your own will, we don't do the sponsorship stuff. We don't do any of that stuff. It's not something that we do. Green handle ratchet? I mean, this one. You can have it if you want. It's up to you, yeah. That's a Matco ratchet. And the reason I got this from Matco, it's not that I don't like Matco. It's I bought a hub buster, a hub buster, and they have a new updated version with thicker metal. And we had a Ford Explorer, and the dealer guaranteed that we'd be able to bust that new, or that wheel bearing out of the Ford Explorer knuckle with the hub buster, because it's the bigger, thicker, upgraded plus version. And I went and got a 16-pound sledge over there, stuck it over there in that corner in the transmission bay, and I tried knocking that thing out with a 16-pound sledge to the point where I almost broke the sledge, and it started crushing the face end of the hub buster. It would not pull that wheel bearing out of the vehicle. So he said, how about in return, I give you one of our better, tighter flex head ratchets, a long one. And I think I ended up getting like one other, like a funnel or something like that to go along with it to offset the money. But I don't do business with Matco unless it's something I absolutely need. And I really don't do business with Snap-on either, because every Snap-on dealer that I've ever dealt with, there's been a couple nice ones, but the majority of the Snap-on guys have been complete assholes to me, so I just quit dealing with them. Now, every time I've dealt with Mac, they've been super nice. It's been some kind of cool, kind of rad guy, and I've never had a problem with Mac dealers at all. And they've always given me outstanding deals where other dealers were not doing that. I'll show you. Trying to get this thing plugged back in because it just yelled at me and said 5%. I'll show you something that 16. I don't use a 5/8. So for instance, this kit right here, this was a sell for me on Snap-on. I asked Snap-on, I said, can you get me a master Torx kit? This kit has everything up to 70 millimeters. I think even some of the BMW stuff or whatever is what this is rated at. This kit through Snap-on was like $700 or close to $700. And then through Matco, I would have had to piece together this kit and it would have came out to like $630. Snap-on or Mac sold this to me for $375 for this. They sold it to me at less than half of what the other guys, or right at half of what the other guys were, for the same lifetime warranty kit. They just, anytime it breaks, they warranty it. There's no stipulation, there's nothing like that. If it breaks, it's warranty. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call for me on who I should be dealing with and who's going to give me the better deals. Now, one thing I do think is that Snap-on has that is superior than other tool manufacturers is their electronic, like their torque wrenches and stuff. They are nice. Their electronics, they really do put the technology into their electronics. And the other tool manufacturers do admit that they do have really nice torque wrenches. Well, then you know Mac actually works with you a lot better than the other one do. In Cornwell, I like some of the Cornwell stuff, but for some reason, every Cornwell dealer that I've ever dealt with, they don't last very long. They last like a year, maybe 2 years, and they're done. I don't see them longer than that. So I just quit dealing with them. But this is the Snap-on 100th anniversary edition. I use this for all the sensitive jobs. The cylinder heads and stuff like that, the block torque, any sensitive stuff, this is what I use this for. And this is like a $575 torque wrench. I think now it went up. I will. Thank you. I'll let you know I appreciate that. I got another package that came in earlier I was surprised I got. But I got it. And I can't say what that is because it's a little sensitive to be talking about online. But let's just talk about little freedom seeds, baby. 600 of them for 220 bucks. I was ecstatic because I haven't found any of them in a long time. Not at that price anyway. I'm gonna check the tire pressure real quick just to make sure. And this right here is my favorite air gun, the Milton. This one you don't have to turn on and it doesn't lose its calibration. As soon as you hook up the airline without, it didn't matter. As soon as you put it on, it turns on immediately and gives you a live readout. So there's no chance of messing up because as soon as it goes on, it gives you a live readout immediately. So some of the other ones have to be calibrated. That you can screw them up based on how you put them on. This one here doesn't do that at all. It's really nice. It's heavy duty too. They were all set at 29. I put them all back at what factory said, which is 32 in the front and 35 in the rear. I run all mine at 32, but on the used cars, I put what the factory says is supposed to be in there. Oh, that's right. Fair tire. Good catch. I appreciate that. It was at 40, 44 PSI. I got to bump it up to 60. Even still has the factory cargo spare sticker that they put from the manufacturer in the middle of the spare tire. It's all still laying in the center of it. I'm gonna go wash my hands up real quick. I'm gonna take it back out. I just had one of the other technicians check when I was in there. I was like, I think I got a troll on my channel because this guy's telling me on the channel that it's the car's on the website for $8,000, and I know it's on there for like $89,990 or something like that. And he looked on there just now and he was like, no, dude, I'm seeing it right now. They got it listed for $89,990 on our website. So whoever that is, tell him to go to the right website or get his eyes checked. Oh, it still works. Damn it, boy, damn it. Ah! My God. Golly, man, this thing runs so damn good. Well, I don't want to touch anybody's car. I always wash my hands, or I have a rag all the time, like a clean rag in my hand. If I'm going to get in somebody's car, I put the rag in my hand to grab the parts that I'm touching so I don't ever touch somebody's car with dirty hands. Now, I have been in somebody's car before where I'm rushing, and I've got in their car with kind of dirty hands, but I make sure that I go back and I have either them detail it. I'll take it straight down to detail at the end of the shop down there, all the way at the end, and I'll say, I need you to wash this. I mean, detail the hell out of the car, everything. Make it smell good, wipe all the surfaces down. You know, I had to do something in here, and I may have got a fingerprint or two, and I want you to just really wipe it down. And I'll have the car detailed for the customer, and when they get it back, they're super happy because they didn't expect all that. I work at Dundee Ford. Let's go for a ride. Gone. Dundee Ford. Let me turn the Wi-Fi off. I just don't want to stop driving the thing. I got 3 vehicles. I'd buy this car right now if I didn't have 3 vehicles. Maybe if I sold the Dodge, or I traded the Dodge in on this, I could have 2. Lincoln Town Car and a Dodge truck. But I need a truck though. I got to be able to work and move my tools around, and I don't drive the truck very much. Here's the new Caterpillar dealer they just opened up not too long ago. Altorfer Cat. Did somebody ask a question with that super chat donation? I didn't even see that. I do apologize. Thank you for whoever did that. I wasn't expecting that, but appreciate it as always. I want to go back and see if I can scroll and find out. Did somebody ask a question with that donation? Because I don't like not answering questions if somebody donates. There it is right there. Given towards the down payment. Hope it has a 4.6 liter. There we go. I like it. I like it. Is the down payment for you or for me? And then if one of you guys do buy it, I'll make sure everything is. I'll go above and beyond what the dealer normally expects to be done. I'll add my twist to it. I call it the Ford Boss service. I'll service the radiator fluid again anyway, and the power steering fluid, and the transmission fluid. I always throw that in there. Typically costs me about $60-$70 add-on at my price, and I'll service it along with what's already been serviced. Oh, I could set this up better than my Lincoln. These actually look better with like the 2015 Mustang rims and like the tinted windows and stuff like that. The town car looks good, don't get me wrong, but these actually fit better with that type of setup that the town car has right now than the town car itself does. Oh, these don't have a lot of horsepower and torque. It's like, what, 240, what is it, 225 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds or 260 foot-pounds. I don't know what it is. It's something like that. But to the wheel, it's nothing. You're lucky if you get 180 to the wheels. I got some basic mods done to my town car, and I get 197 to the wheels, and right at 250 horsepower or 250 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. But that's because mine's tuned and just has little light modifications done to it. Now you can really wake these things up with full exhaust. I'm talking headers and all, and a little bit of boost. These motors already have a camshaft that has enough lift. It's a 500 lift cam. So you could actually get quite a bit of power out of the stock cam and intake setup on these if you just ran, you know, 10 pounds of boost, 8 to 10 pounds of boost. You can get some pretty decent power. So I'm actually going to be dropping on the Vortec S1, the Vortec S trim Pro Charger on my town car, and it'll be right at 415 horse, 400 foot-pound of torque, somewhere in there, 430 foot-pound of torque somewhere. And it's going to be, it'll have like Cobra injectors, Cobra MAF, all that stuff. It'll be really beefed up. Just a daily, that's all. I'm just looking at just a nice, decent boosted daily that's not, you know, crazy street machine or anything like that. Just something fun. So that's what I'm doing. Once I hit 50,000 subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and order everything, get it all set up, because it takes like a month to build. Yeah, when they dynoed my car, he was pretty surprised, because he was like, most of the Panther cars that we get in here, they sit right at about 180, 182, 183. Yours, the way you have it set up with the exhaust and the tune and everything, like 197 is what we ended up getting out of it. But now I have the 93 octane tune. So he said you probably maybe added 8 to 10 horsepower on top of what you already had. Nothing too crazy. You got more timing out of it. Better. You went to a higher octane, different timing. And he said if you went with a long tube header, you'd get even more out of it, because you got the stock cats and stuff on it now with just catback exhaust. So basically all you got is sound. You don't have any better performance. So if you really want to put a long tube headers on it, go with the Stainless Works long tube headers, and you'll be golden. Yeah, don't balance or anywhere. You let it go, and it just keeps going. I'll do it. I'll let it go right here and show you guys. I mean, it's the front end of this car is super tight. So this is on a crazy bumpy, windy road, no hands, and it just stays with the road. It doesn't move, doesn't do anything at all. It's a perfectly straight steering wheel. But I got it in a turn, and it stays with the turn. It doesn't even move. It stays exactly where I put it until you get to the other side of the turn. I mean, this car truly is a straight as an arrow driving car. And there ain't no doubt about it. No hands. It ain't moving nowhere. Then you get to the other side of the curve, and of course it wants to stay straight. But guys, I'm gonna jump off of here. You know, I've showed you everything about the car. You should have enough warm and fuzzy about this car, whether or not you want to buy it. If somebody does come across this video, it is for sale. Dundee Ford, Dundee, Illinois, $89,990 or $89,990, so $8,990. Mention the channel, mention me, maybe you'll get a better deal than that. Who knows? My job is to show you the car and do the services and make sure you feel comfortable about what's going on with it. No bearing noise, no nothing, no fluid leaks. A little bit of wetness around the oil pan gasket, but that ain't nothing. Snug up them bolts a little bit more, put a new oil pan gasket, and that's it. Front cover was dry. All the pulleys and stuff were good. Fluid was good. Inside of the motor looks amazing. I wouldn't be hesitant to jump in this thing and drive back and forth across the state for the next 10 years. And you know, so anyway, I just wanted to show you the car. I know you guys like these, and I've been waiting to get something really nice in to show you, and here it is. A little bit more, of course, but you pay for what you get, especially nowadays. And this is actually a more reasonable deal than most new vehicles and other used vehicles. This is the best bang for your buck right here. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to catch you later. As always, thank you. Have a good rest of your day. And oh yeah, sure. You know, I'm almost thinking about buying it, but I'd rather somebody else buy it and instead of me, to be honest with you. I got too many damn cars as it is. So good afternoon, guys. Take care.